Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Cole here. Hope you're doing fabulous. And Lena, how is Jurgen? I have had a great festive season. It's been kind of relaxed. Rick, you should be able to hear me better. Art in Medellin. ¿Cómo están las cosas en Medellin? And Saul, how are you? And Eddie from South Carolina. Art says, todo bien in Medellin. That is really on my list of places to go. I don't know, Art, if we talked about this. Guys, we still got people piling on. I'm not going to waste your time with chit chat. I don't believe in that. I'll get going in about 2 seconds. But Art, I can't remember if we talked about this on another webinar, or maybe it's somebody else who lives. Maybe it's somebody else who lives in Medellin. You know, I just deal with so many people. I apologize. I can't keep all the names straight. We did talk about it. Wonderful. Did we talk about the fact that I was online actually just looking up stuff about Medellin? And yeah, I remember now. Did we talk about the fact that you can actually go to, what was his name? Pablo Escobar's house and get a tour by some guy who was his main finance guy? I mean, that is insane. You know, I mean, this guy was apparently, at least on the internet, you know, the finance guy, I've forgotten his name, but this guy was apparently in jail for a few years. And I don't know. I mean, in South America, it's a little different, I guess, but got out of jail and now he makes money by, that's pretty interesting. Art says everybody know who he was and lots of people don't think he was such a bad guy. You know, I am not here to judge other people. So really, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, that's just surreal that you could actually go to his house. But anyway, so cool beans. Y'all can apparently hear me. Can you see? You should see a little graphic that says 1 new client every week. No? Shows, well, it would help if I showed my screen. Lindsay, how are you? Susan, awesome. Now can we see? Rick, thank you so much. Okay. Now this is a PDF that I created. This webinar is going to be a little different, okay? If you've been on webinars with me before, you know that I actually deliver the goods. This is not just a veiled attempt at selling you something. Yes, there is going to be what I call an affordable coaching thingamabob, which I will tell you about briefly at the end. You would be crazy not to get it, but it's your choice. This is not, however, me just setting you up to listen to me try to pitch you something for an hour. I don't believe in that. I believe in actually teaching you something. You know, guys, for those of you who don't know me, I actually used to be a teacher. And, well, I'll tell you a little bit about me in just 1 second. But that'll be at the end. At the end, I'll also give you a copy of the PDF. It's, man, I just got so stoked about this morning. I've been thinking about this for days. You know, and some of y'all have heard me say this before. Hard is easy. It's the simple that is really hard. And by that, I mean, you know, you can know how to do that, right? You can know how to do something. I mean, I've done these businesses for years. This is the way. And I'll tell you about my trajectory a little bit, but not wasting your time. But just so you know where I'm coming from, this is the way I ended up running my business. Okay, exactly what I'm telling you here. It is extremely simple. John, thank you so much. I'm going to go tell my wife that, and my daughter. My daughter's here at home from college. I think they're both going to disagree with you because they both think I'm highly annoying. But anyway, where was it's so funny. John says, I like listening to your voice is comfortable. It's that good old boy Southern accent, John, maybe that's it. But anyway, so, you know, I've been thinking about this for days. I know how to run these businesses. I know how to tell y'all how to run these businesses. Knowing how to do something and actually being able to get it down on a piece of paper or in a video or something like that to where somebody can look at it and they've received that information and they actually know what to do. Those are two wildly different things. wildly different. There's a huge difference between being able to do something and being able to teach something. So, you know, I've been wanting to do this for some time. The end of the year is perfect. I want to vastly simplify the offline business process for you guys. We will talk about what I mean by that in just a sec. But so I spent all morning, literally from 8 until, when did I eat lunch? Like 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good God, 4 hours. I spent 4 hours writing this little PDF, and I was going to turn it into a PowerPoint. But then after I wrote it, I thought, you know, that's stupid to turn it into a PowerPoint. PowerPoints are dull and boring. I've got the PDF. So what we're going to do, guys, that's actually true, Art. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll through this PowerPoint. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you and act stupid, okay? I mean, I used to be a professional teacher. Well, I guess I actually am still a professional teacher. I just make a hell of a lot more money than I used to, right? I'm not going to just, you know, read you the thing and bore the shit out of you. Yep, excuse the French. I curse every now and then in case you don't know me. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be lively. It's going to be cool. You're going to learn a ton, but it's just easier to go through the PDF, and I'll give you the PDF at the end of this, and you can refer to it, because there is a ton. I mean, 13 pages, man. There's a ton of information in here. And if you will actually take me to heart on this, 2019 is going to be a vastly different year. And like I said in one of the emails I sent you, if you are already making over 150 grand a year from your business, you probably don't need to waste your time looking at me, because you probably have already figured out either what I do or you've figured out your version of what I do. I'm just being honest, okay? And I think I said that in a few emails. What I'm going to show you, however, is for two groups of people: newbies, or people starting out, or people who have trying to start and just can't get any traction, that group, okay? And we all been there and done that. It's fine, right? We all been there and done that. So those people, and then there's another group of people who have some clients, you're making some money, but it's kind of a little bit like feast and famine. You can't figure out how to scale your business, and you can't figure out how to grow it. Those two groups of people, which is virtually everyone who is interested in, you know, what I do on my list, et cetera, et cetera. Those two groups of people, this is for you. And if you pay close attention, 2019 is going to be a wildly different year. So a lot of you know me, a lot of you don't. I'm not going to bore you with this, but real quick, I used to be a mathematics teacher. In approximately 2006, 2007, I discovered that you could do more with the internet besides just check your email. I just fell in love with that concept. I had what I call my inner entrepreneur. I really wanted to do something really different. I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to do what I'm doing now, right? I wanted the money and the lifestyle that goes with it. And I don't mean crap. I mean time. I mean, for me, it's all about time, right? It's all about making plenty of money, but having the time to enjoy my freaking life. Hey, David, how are you, buddy? So from when I discovered the internet up until about 2010, a couple of things happened. One, I got really good at search engine optimization. I made not a lot of money, but working part-time, I made really good money as an Amazon affiliate. Toward the end of 2009, 2010, I started getting clients. Okay, mainly off Craigslist back then. I started getting clients to do stuff for, building websites. I also went through a phase of flipping websites. I have a ton of experience in a whole world of things. But I really loved the idea of helping businesses use the internet to sell stuff. I just totally fell in love with that. It made total sense to me. I could see that that was the future, and I was good at it. And unlike being an Amazon affiliate where I would sell, like, you know, a several $100 product and make $3, when I sold somebody, I mean, even a one-off product, I would make several $100s on the low end. And it just seemed, I mean, it was just right in my wheelhouse. So I quit my job in 2010. I literally called up my vice principal. I said, I can't do it anymore. I'm quitting. And she knew I was very unhappy. I mean, you know, I was a really good teacher, but she knew that I was very unhappy at it. She said, that's totally cool. Don't worry about it. I went and told my wife. I mean, I don't normally do stuff like this. My wife starts crying. I thought, oh God, I said, honey, I can call her back. I can get my job back. She said, no, I've been waiting for you to do this forever. You know, my wife was totally on board with it. I don't normally do spontaneous stuff like that. And man, I hit the ground running. I literally had my first client within 24 hours. Okay. And then, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit of what you're going to see. So we may come across this twice. If we do, I'll just skip that part. Then, and this is really where what I'm going to teach you today came from. Okay. I mean, I could get clients. All right. I understood SEO. I absolutely had to make money. I did not have a plan B. I had a wife at the time, 2010. I had a wife and two 12-year-olds. Okay. Now I got two 20-year-olds. And I mean, I had no choice. So, and my business grew pretty fast up to a certain level, and that level was not good enough for me. Yeah. I understand, John. I understand. That level was not good enough for me. I mean, I was working my butt off. Indeed, Lena, Lena, indeed I do. I was working my butt off. I mean, which was cool. You know, I started a new business, man. I was in it, you know. I mean, I was living the life and loving every second of it. And I have loved every second of this since I started. You know, I mean, I will be doing this until the moment I die, hopefully a long time from now. But I was killing myself working. I was working like 12 hours a day. I was working more than when I worked as a teacher. I never had any days off. Yeah, it was fun, but it was, you know, I was headed toward burnout. And I rapidly bumped up against a ceiling of income. And that's because there were some fundamental things in my way that I didn't understand at the time. And it took me a good year or two. Nice. It took me a good year or two to sort of unpack all this stuff. I mean, the quality of training and information has just grown exponentially since then. I'm not, you know, tooting my own horn or bemoaning anything. It's just that there just weren't a lot of people back, even back in 2010, to even tell you how to do stuff, right? So, you know, I just had to figure it out for myself. But I came up with a different way of approaching offline marketing, a way that worked for me, a way where I could intelligently grow my business, a way where I could grow it to, you know, a really good income, where I could have my money and the time to actually enjoy my life, and a way that was rational, for me. Okay, so this is what works for me. It may or may not work for you. And again, at the end, if you want to follow up on this and learn more, I'll give you a chance to do that at what I call an affordable price. So you learned about me. I made some wild promises in those emails that I sent you over the past 2 or 3 days, and a radical observation. Let's start with the radical observation, because I think this is going to help. This is going to help. Radical observation. Just buying another info product, you know, training, how-to stuff, or another piece of software isn't ever going to be the key that unlocks offline marketing for you. That it is important. I mean, I have a whole nother business where we sell info products and especially software. I'm not dissing that. Okay, it is important, but it's not sufficient. Thank you, Saul. I loved writing them too, because my heart was in it. But it is not sufficient. Okay, again, I'm not against info products. I'm not against software. You got to learn how the internet works. You got to learn how, you got to have the right tools, but you need more. Okay? Here's the missing piece. Here is the missing piece that several years ago, this is why I was bumping up against that ceiling so rapidly and unable to go through it. I didn't have what I'm going to teach you today. The missing piece is you need a structure, a blueprint, if you will, to pour all this stuff into. Okay, so lately, there have been some really great products in the offline space launched. Mike Paul had this really cool thing, which I loved, about creating and selling leads to life insurance agents. My buddy Jim Mack had some really good stuff about Google My Business. I mean, the information is there. The how-to is there. GoToWebinar says that you may not be able to hear me so well, so I'm going to keep talking, and we're just going to hope that straightens itself out. You know, you buy this stuff, right? And, you know, just like everybody, like I was back in the day, you know, you open it up, you go through the videos, you know, you kind of start it, and it's just a little harder than it said on the box, right? And it's not that anybody was lying to you. I know both those guys and everybody else you buy from personally. They're great guys. But, and I don't represent products where I think the product is crap. But, you know, you just kind of like start doing this thing and it's just not gelling. You're, you know, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, you're frustrated. You're kind of in the same place you were before. Maybe you got a client or two, but the rocket did not ignite. Now, am I the only person this ever happened to? or do you understand what I'm telling you when I'm talking about this? I mean, are we communicating here? Somebody say, yes, Lee, I understand. Amen, I got you. Or no, Lee, this never happened to me. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what most people go through. Now, so number one, the first thing you got to understand, hey, Ake, how's it going, buddy? The first thing you got to understand is you got to understand that you are not a failure. Thank you, Rick. I always knew I was unique. You are not a failure. And the other thing you need to understand is those products you bought were not crap. Okay, it's not you. And it's not them. You're missing something. You're missing a piece that nobody ever really tells you about, okay? And that's what this webinar is about. It's about that missing piece. I don't need to tell you how to do Google My Business. I love Google My Business stuff. I don't need to tell you how to do that. Go to my blog, go to my YouTube account, find the video where I did the walkthrough of Jim's thing, go buy the damn thing. It's fabulous. You can learn from him. You don't need me for that. What you need me for is that missing piece. Look, if you were a bricklayer and you wanted to build a beautiful wall like this pretty cool looking wall, you'd need some sort of blueprint. I don't know if they really call them blueprints with bricklaying. I don't know. I'm just freeforming here. You'd need some sort of blueprint. I mean, you're not building this thing with that fancy brick and those dimensions and these round things and those little whatever those things are. You're not building this without some sort of blueprint to tell you what to do where. If you don't have that blueprint, wall's not going to look good. It's going to fall over, be too short, too long, not, you know, take a right at the right place and take a left at the right place. It's going to end up looking like this. Same's true of building a business. See, the software and the info products that you buy, they are not the blueprint. They're just the bricks. Now, they're necessary. You got to have bricks if you're going to build a wall. But you got to have a blueprint to know what to do when. So these info products that you buy, the how to do Google My Business stuff, the how to sell, you know, create and sell leads to thank you, Saul. Saul said it much better than I can. I'm stumbling around here, Saul. Thank you so much. You need structure and foundation. Yes. You need a mold to pour this stuff into. Now, well, here we go. So the stuff you buy, they're not how you build a business. They're not the structure of that business, right? If you're struggling, And, in the coaching that I've done and, over the years, when people are really struggling with this stuff, they're doing their best, they're trying, they're struggling, they're really not getting where, or maybe they're getting somewhere kind of sort of slowly. It's because they don't have this blueprint, this structure in place. Now we're going to look at some numbers. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you with mathematics, okay? But baby arithmetic a little later, and I'm going to just prove to you what I'm talking about. See, that's what I get all the time, like in support emails. I mean, it literally even happens to me in person. People ask me, like, what are the hot niches? Okay. Well, what should I be selling? Like everybody ought to be selling the same damn thing, and what's easy to sell? That's wrong-headed. That's wrong-headed. 85% of this stuff that's offered to you by anybody, hopefully 100% by me, 85% of the stuff that's offered to you via email marketing by anybody is gold, pure gold. That Google My Business thing, the life insurance leads thing, that is just solid gold. People like Steve Rosenbaum, Mike Paul, Jim Mack, and all those people, Tom and Nick, all those people. I know all those people very well. Good, solid stuff from people who are in the trenches doing it. And yet it's not working for you. So, and the reason it's not working for you is you don't have this blueprint. Now, there's some mathematical reasons behind all this. We'll go into that. I'm going to prove what I'm telling to you. So if you're having trouble making the leap from where you are, whether that's sitting on zero or you're just kind of bumping along with 1 or 2 clients or 3, and you just can't quite make it into like where the business is flowing, it's not the info products and software that you're buying, it's not you, it's something else, and it is you don't have the blueprint. You got the bricks and the mortar, you got the trowel and the level, the tools, okay? You got the instructions on how to lay brick. You got, the Google My Business thing I mentioned. You had great videos in it, walked you through the whole thing. You got all that. You just don't know where to put stuff. How long is the wall? How high? Where does it need pillars? Where does it turn corners? Where does it need reinforcement? That's the kind of stuff that you need. That's why you're struggling. Get this fixed. And you're going to find out something cool. Get this fixed, and you're going to find out the building an offline agency really isn't that hard. Now, I'm going to prove to you why it's not that hard. It's not that hard because there are literally millions of businesses out there. There are millions of small businesses in the US alone. There are millions in the UK. The UK, in terms of population, is about 1/5 of the United States, I think. Still millions of businesses, probably millions in Mexico for those of you who are, Spanish speaking. I mean, really, unless you live in a third world country, you are surrounded by business owners and business managers who desperately need the stuff you're selling. And even if you're living in a third world country and you have the internet, you can just sell to the first world countries, right? So there is no lack of need here. I mean, literally, I was talking to a guy the other day. He was introduced to me by someone else. I mean, it was just one of those random things. He runs a medical clinic here in Atlanta, and he was having problems with marketing and advertising. He and I started talking. He said he was specifically interested in simple video marketing because in his clinic, he needs to show people how stuff works because he needs to demystify the process. And when I told him what I do, I mean, he said literally, I quote, "God, I need that." Business owners need all this stuff. They literally need all of this stuff. That's not the problem. You're surrounded by people who desperately need whatever service you're selling, yet you, through no fault of your own, by the way, you can't manage to connect 2 dots and make a damn sale. Or, Art, I did no elevator pitch to him. I literally told him what I do. I mean, it was so freaking easy. Okay, I said, well, look, I help businesses like yours. I can get videos created. We can rank them, blah, blah, blah. I looked at his website on my phone. I said, I mean, if you want to do video marketing, you need to get your videos back onto your website. Art, I told him all that, right? It took like, what, 45 seconds. And he said, God, I need that. Bam, new client, right? So you can't connect two dots to make a sale through no fault of your own. And even if you can, like, bump along and make a sale every now and then, if you're making sales, your business is still running by fits and starts. It's one client, 1 month, and whoopee, we got all this money, and then no clients for the next 2 months because you're so busy for the next 2 months screwing around with that one client. Does this make sense so far? I'm going to solve this problem for you, okay, on this webinar for free. But does this make sense so far? You know, you get into that thing when you know, when you're new, like you've never talked to a business owner, you just had this idea that, you know, which is a good idea, that, hey, man, this is great. I would really like to do this. I mean, that's one thing. That's one thing. It's a little scary, and it takes a lot of guts to step up to the plate and start swinging the bat. And I applaud you for doing that. But when you kind of get out there and you're kind of doing it, and you kind of, somebody says yes, and you know, you sold them something, you deliver it, and then you wonder where in the hell the next client's going to come from and all that stuff. That is a really frustrating place to be. And I was there, not for a super long time. So this would be about end of 2010 or so, through some part of 2011. I was there for a while until it started to dawn on me what the hell the problem was. And like I said, you're kind of getting your business going, but not really. So how would you like to quit this stuff and get your business? I'm asking you a question, if this is of interest to you, because I'm going to show you how to do this right now for free, to where it runs smoothly, has a consistent, predictable income that comes from recurring sales, and is not stressful to build or run. Would you like to know how to do that? Say yes or no. Okay. I'm getting like tons of yeses. By the way, guys, this is being recorded, and it will be, we'll put it up somewhere where you can get to it and refer to it. And I will give you, for those of you who got on later, we're going through a PDF in lieu of slides, frankly, because I spent 4 hours this morning writing this PDF, fell in love with it because it was finally gotten it simplified to where I thought I could really, communicate with you, right? And I'm going to give you the PDF, this PDF that we're reading. I'm going to give you this PDF at the end for free. Okay, so. And do that this year. How would you like to get this done this year? How would you like for 2019, by this time next year, for you to be in a totally different place, for you to have that smooth business, predictable income, not killing yourself, you know what to do. You know, you might decide at the end of 2019, going into 2020, you know what, I think I really am working enough, and I'm happy. Or you might decide like, you know, really, I think I could, without killing myself, grow this business another 30%. How would you like to be in the freaking driver's seat so that you knew how to do that? All right. So you're kind of in the position of, you know, the old Einstein thing. You're doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And so if you keep doing what you've been doing, and you're going to keep getting what you've always got. And for most of you on this call, from what you've told me in the chat here, and I appreciate the feedback, that's not what you want. So let's take a different approach, okay? I want you to look at this next list right here. Take a look at this. Product funnel, easy prospecting that actually does work, easy sales presentation that's low stress, non-threatening. Just, you know, I look, I'm not a used car salesman. I just show people. Somebody asked me, well, what did I tell the guy that I ran into that made him say, God, I need that? I literally just showed him. You know, I just pulled out my phone and showed him a couple of things, and bam. But quickly show a sales presentation that quickly shows your prospects what you're selling, hits on what it's going to do for them, how much it's going to cost. They either buy or they don't buy. It's no sweat if they don't. You got fulfillment. Okay. Look at all of this stuff here. This one's huge. Proper time and resource management and follow-up. I want to talk about these things because it's right here where we start to unpack this. Okay, these aren't in any order of importance. Okay, it's right here where we start to unpack this. Okay, and where we start to understand there's a better way to do things and a much simpler way to do things, and we start to actually understand, even from an arithmetic point of view, which I'll get into a little later, how this business works and how it's going to have to work if you plan on making a really decent income without killing yourself. So a product funnel, right? So what is, a product funnel? What product do you sell first? And what product do you sell next? All right. Now notice I've already hinted at part of the solution. The solution to the whole damn thing is to sell recurring income products, but you don't sell them usually. I mean, never is a pretty strong word, right? But you usually don't sell them right off the bat. All right. So a product funnel. We want to end up with a recurring income product. Why do we want to end up with a recurring income product? Because I don't need to make a sale next month to that guy or that gal. I did it last month. They're just going to pay me. And I got the fulfillment handled. And cool. So I got the fulfillment handled. They pay me. And I don't need to do all of that stuff that you need to do to get another amen. Saul's got it. So I'm going to read what you just said because you've got the crux here. But I don't need to reinvent the wheel every month, right? So Saul says we need less clients overall. Amen to that. But those clients need to be recurring income clients. Okay. Easy prospecting that actually works. Okay. Because correct me if I'm wrong. And I think I get into this a little later. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you spend a lot of time per day, per week, per whatever, however you're going to measure it, prospecting. I mean, if you do, then you're probably building your business. It may be kind of hard, but and you still need what I'm telling you because, but at least you got that part figured out. Most people that I talk to, they kind of start doing some prospecting. They get frustrated. They're always looking for that magic silver bullet that's going to kind of like do it for you. And those of us who write sales letters for a living actually understand that you think that way. Okay. Yep. Saul says, I don't do enough outreach and I know it. Okay. Well, Saul, we're going to change that today. All right. But if you had prospecting that actually works, and if you knew what the hell you were selling, and if you knew the numbers involved, and if you understood the simple arithmetic behind how to create $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year business that you ran on your laptop without killing yourself, if you understood that, I bet you would get off your ass and start prospecting more. Somebody tell me I'm right or I'm wrong. Is that true? I mean, if you really, yeah. Right, absolutely. And I mean, this is common sense, I mean, who wants to do something when you're frustrated? Nobody wants to do stuff when you're frustrated. I mean, you get into the self-hate, you beat yourself up, this is when you become susceptible to buying another shiny object. That's all very rational behavior, by the way. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? You just didn't have the damn blueprint. Nobody ever explained to you what I'm explaining to you for free today. Now, easy sales presentation that's low stress and non-threatening and just quickly shows your prospects what you're selling, tells them what it's going to do. We call that features and benefits and how much it costs, and they either buy or they don't buy. Because another hang up that a lot of people have when I actually, I don't do a lot of I don't do any one-on-one coaching anymore because honestly, I just don't have time, which translates into I'm too expensive. But back when I used to do it, Another issue that a lot of people have, but I still get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of feedback through YouTube. I get a lot of feedback from you guys through support and a lot of feedback through email and stuff, which I'm really happy to get. But another issue is, for some of you, not all, you're like really kind of like stressed out about having to do the damn sales presentation because you think that you've got to be what was that guy's name? The Wolf of Wall Street or something, you know? I've forgotten his name. I mean, you think you have to be at that level. I'm not really sure if he was at a level. I think he was just pushing crappy stocks. But I don't know. You know, I'm not judging. But you know, most people think that they have to be that kind of like ultra smooth sales, whatever. And in point of fact, for this stuff, you really literally need to just show enough people what it is and tell them how much it's going to cost. And a surprising number of them will nod up and down and just buy the damn thing. Why is that? Thank you, Jordan Belfort. Thank you so much, Eddie. Why do they buy? For the same reason that sometime after this webinar, I'm going to get in my car and go down to Publix and go grocery shopping because I need to eat supper tonight. Now think about that. You're not pushing something on someone that doesn't need it, right? These business owners need this help. It's like that guy I was talking about. He said, God, I need that. These business owners need this help. Okay, you are not creating the need. The need is there. All you've got to do is just in a rational manner, and we're talking here proper time and resource management, a rational manner. Get this in front of enough of the right people without stressing out about that too much, and then just say your thing. And a surprising number of them are going to nod up and down and buy. Fulfillment. Okay. And again, I may be a little repetitive here. There's some things that crop up a little later in this PDF that I want to go over with you. But I guarantee if something crops up twice, it is well worth you know, really sort of focusing on fulfillment. How many of you do your own fulfillment or plan on doing your own fulfillment? Now, fulfillment means after you make the sale and after you get paid, because put your hand on a Bible or on a holy book, wherever you are, and then swear, if you swear in your religion, that you will never do any work unless you get paid 100% of the price up front all the time. Okay? Okay, so Saul says depends on the service. Philip says would rather not. Those are closer to the right answer. A lot of y'all are kind of, you know, especially when you're new, you kind of screw around with doing it yourself. And, you know, for the first few months I did this, I did that. Mainly because I didn't know who the hell else knew about this stuff besides me. I mean, again, the internet has grown so much. Fiverr didn't exist when I started. Fiverr is a huge resource for me now, right? Onlinejobs.ph didn't even exist when I started. So you do not want to be doing any of the fulfillment ever. Okay, that's not your job. By the time we're done, you're going to know what your job is, but that ain't your job. And again, in general, we're talking about proper time and resource management and follow-up. Follow-up is defined as if someone doesn't buy, what do you do with them? All right. And those of you who come from a standard sales background, and every now and then I get somebody who, and before I was a teacher, I was a salesperson. Ever since literally I was 12 years old, and that is not an exaggeration. My dad was in the selling professions his whole life and made me learn how to sell when I was a kid. This would be child abuse nowadays, and you'd have DFACs coming out to see you or some governmental authority. But you know, follow-up is what you do when somebody doesn't buy, right? They're interested, they just don't buy. Okay, and you can easily, for the few of you who come from a standard sales background, you're used to like having a tickler file and all that stuff and calling people back, you know, next month, 6 months from now, a year from now, and all that crap. Kiss of death. That is the kiss of death. Okay, so we'll talk about how to handle that. For most of you, that's not an issue because you got nothing to follow up with. So, just as in any blueprint or instructions for building anything, you got to know what the components are. In a wall, you got to know what you're building with. It's mortar, bricks, rebar, a few other bells and whistles. In an offline business, it is this stuff. And I just talked about this stuff. Okay. These are the building blocks. Now I'm going to restructure this list in a second because this list is not in the simplest right order for you in the way that you should be building your business. It's just that these are the things we need to talk about. So let me help you structure your business, or rather restructure your business for some of you. Would you agree that if you are not aiming at the right target, you're probably not going to hit it? So you get your gun, your pop gun, your spitball, and your straw, your bow and arrow, and the target's straight ahead. And if you turn 90 degrees to the left and you let your arrow fly in that direction, I'm pretty sure you're not going to hit the target, right? So this is the deal. And here's, I've gotten great feedback from you guys. I really appreciate that. I know I'm communicating, but here's where you need to shut out all distraction because it's fixing to go up a level. All distraction. If you're checking email on your phone, if you're painting your toenails, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you need to quit it right now. Because here's where I'm going to tell you something and stress something that in your gut you may know, but I don't think anybody's ever really told you this. So what is the right target? And I've hinted at this. Lena, I'm not even going to grace that by reading that out. Here's where it is. Your target for your business is the recurring income sale. That's your target. This whole freaking business must be, mathematically has to be built around the recurring income sale. Here's why. Because you can usually automate this stuff. And if you can't automate it, you can outsource it. Do I have any examples down here? Yeah, I've got some examples later on. Okay, so social media, social media content posting, a great recurring income product, right? Easily automatable through a whole variety of things, Hootsuite and a few others, easily automatable. If you can't automate it, you can outsource it, or you can outsource dealing with the automation. You can do both. You can hire an outsourcer who once a month spends a couple of hours per client loading up all the crap into the platform that spews it out on a daily, hourly basis, and bam, you're done. Okay. So that's one of the beauties of the recurring income sale is you know what has to happen every single month for every client, and you're not sitting there being Mr. and Ms. Genius reinventing the wheel. It's the same damn thing for each client all the time. This didn't make it into the PDF, and I want to stress this with you, so you might want to write this down. It's a PDF, otherwise I would just amend the notes here. I can't do that. I was talking to a group earlier this year, and I was talking about this kind of stuff, not the same thing, but this kind of stuff, and I was saying, look, another kiss of death for these small agency type businesses is when you sell custom solutions. When you take client A and you look at all their crap, and let's say you have 6 things that you know how to sell, some social media posting, video marketing, blah, 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 blah. And you think to yourself, you come up with a solution for that client. You say, well, I'm going to have a lot of item number 1 and a little bit of item number 3, and I think we should sprinkle in some number 5 every now and then. That is the freaking kiss of death, all right? I mean, nobody does that in a real business. It may look like they do that, but nobody does that in a real business. Artists do that. Artists do that, and in general, they're broke. Okay, so point made. What you need to be thinking about is you need to sell, now I'm not saying exactly the same thing. So if you're selling video marketing, you don't have to sell the same damn video to everybody. But if you're selling, let's say, a recurring income video marketing product, part of which is a new video every month, then you need to be using the same outsourcer. It needs to be the same kind of, let's say, whiteboard video. You need to be finding the same script writer. You need to get all that stuff figured out so that you're not having to figure it out every month. Now, there's a reason we don't want to figure it out every month. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that a little later on. Another obvious reason for the recurring income sale is you make the sale once and you get paid over and over again. I mean, I've had plenty of plenty of clients last 1 to 2 years, some even more, paying me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, just over and over and over and over again, like clockwork. It's like a freaking machine. They pay, we do it. They pay, we do it. They pay, we do it. I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to think about it. One client. You can predict your income, right? Now, why is predicting your income important? It's not so that you can figure out when to buy that big bass boat you want. That's not why. I'm just joking. The reason that predicting your income is important is because, there's an old saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. You can't scale your business. You can't grow your business. You can't make rational, intelligent decisions about your business if you don't know how much money you're probably going to make, let's say, for the next 12 months per month. You can't do that. And Saul says it's motivating. Amen to that. It's motivating. Yeah. Now, when you are doing this stuff yourself, doing these, doing these custom solutions, figuring it out for client A, and then figuring out something different for client B, and when you're having to, on January the 1st, February the 1st, March the 1st, April the 1st, go out and do it all over again and find brand new clients so that you can try to make the same amount of money that you made last month. God, that's a frustrating way to live. I did that for about a year and a half. When you're doing that, you just it just really cuts into your efficiency. And it also dramatically reduces the amount of time you can spend doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing, which is not sitting there screwing around with clients. Oddly enough, that's really not what you're supposed to be doing. You have two jobs. One is prospecting, the other one is selling. Okay? The rest of the stuff you don't need to be doing. Now, you're never going to build a real six-figure business with what I call one-off sales. A one-off sale is the opposite of a recurring income sale. So a one-off sale, somebody buys a website from us, okay? So they pay us, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever, right? That's a one-off sale. Now, that's a nice sale. But let's say that happens. Let's just take a $4,000 website or a $3,000 website, doesn't matter. Somebody buys that from me this month. Well, you think of all the prospecting that I had to do to finally find that person and the sales presentation and all the who shot John about getting them to send me the damn money. And I get paid and I feel really good about it. But guess what? After I get paid and we deliver the goods and it's all said and done, got to do the whole thing all over again because that was one time $3,000 payment. All right. Stephen Covey was like this management guru back in the 90s. He wrote a groundbreaking book. I read it like around 2000, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit number 2 was begin with the end in mind. And here's the end. This is what Lee's telling you want for your business. You want a business built around recurring income sales. And I know you're getting started. Godly, I just want somebody to pay me some freaking money. I got it. That's understandable. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to land a damn deal. I got it. That's okay. But, and like I say here, that's better than nothing, but you're never going to build a solid business on that. It just won't happen. All right. It's just mathematically not possible. So you got to begin with the end in mind. You got to begin with that recurring income sale in mind. That's the sale you want to make. Here's the great news. I want you to check this out. Think about this. Okay, we're talking about getting paid $1,000, $2,000 a month per client. Completely like that. There's nothing outlandish about those figures. Okay. Here's the news. You only have to make one or two of those sales per month for a year to have a $200,000 business. Now think about that. Lee's going to do math in his head. I can do calculus in my head, but doing arithmetic in my head always stumps me. Let's say we make 1.5 sales a month to the recurring income clients. Okay. And so by the end of the year, 1.5 sales, we're going to have 12 plus half of 12, 18 businesses. Hang on, I'm getting out the calculator. 18 businesses, because I got to multiply 18 by 12. 18 businesses paying us $1,000 a month. That's $18,000 a month. That's sounding pretty good. That is $216,000 a year. 18. 1.5. Okay, well, so let's suppose you're a total slacker, or you just don't need that much money and you'd rather have the time, or you're doing this part-time. Okay, in other words, you don't really have the time to make 1.5 sales a month. Let's suppose you only make one every 2 months. So you make one every 2 months, that's 12 divided by 2 is 6. So you got 6 people paying you $1,000 a month times 12. At the end of the year, that's a $72,000 business. You could be a slacker and end up with a $72,000 business. It's about 80%. Actually, it's going to be more than that, Austin. I'm actually refiguring that right now. It's going to be probably around 85 to 90%, something around there. Austin's asking me about the profit margin. The profit margin on this stuff is remarkable. I mean, it really is just remarkable. And really, it's according to what you sell, Austin. So video stuff where you have to pay people a lot of money to write scripts and make cool videos and do voiceovers and stuff like that. Your profit margin is going to be less. Social media posting, I mean, that's a total no-brainer, right? You got to get somebody to write the status updates and stuff like that. But the way we do it, I mean, it's all copy and paste, cookie cutter stuff. Matter of fact, we use the same thing over and over again. We just jiggle it around so that, various social media platforms can't recognize it. and it does its purpose. Nobody's cheating anybody. I mean, it does its purpose for clients. That's an extremely high profit margin thing, right? So it's going to vary, but I would say in general, I don't know, 80, 85%. Okay. So $72,000 a year for part-time work. And granted, just as Austin pointed out, you are going to be spending a little bit of money paying people to do stuff, because I told you never to do any fulfillment yourself. But that's still pretty freaking good, because now at the end of the next year, so at the end of 2020, now granted, some people are going to drop off, but you'll get more clients. Let's say your income's 40% more. So now you're 72,000 times 4 is about 30. So now you're up to $100,000. And the following year, you get up to about $140,000. You grow a business that way. That would be kind of a more relaxed way of growing a business. But I'm pointing out that these figures make sense. So I want to take this list that I showed you right here, this list, and we're going to restructure this so it starts to make sense for you. Where am I? Here's I didn't have to scroll back, did I? I was smart enough this morning to put the original list right here. Here's the original list, okay? Here's the improved list. This is how simple this business can be. It needs to be. Easy no-brainer prospecting that leads to a no-brainer one-off sale. I'm going to define that for you just a little bit. That leads to a recurring income sale. Bam, bam, bam. Because remember, our target is the recurring income sale. That is your prospecting product funnel right there. That's the prospecting funnel and the product funnel. One-off, no-brainer sale leads to a recurring income sale. In point of fact, when you really think about this, Rick, right, because Rick's saying, why is it bad to do some of the fulfillment? Rick, if I can hire somebody on Fiverr to do really cool stuff for me for $40, but if I spend that time that I spent on that really cool thing, considering I'm not an expert, it's going to take me 4 times as long as the Fiverr person, right? If I spend my time doing it, I've made $40. So let's say I spend 4 times the time doing it, I've made $40, which boils down to per unit time, I've made $10. I mean, man, I might as well go down the corner and flip hamburgers for McDonald's. It's because fulfillment is not the high ticket thing you get paid for. What you take any corporation in the world, the people besides the CEO and top level management, but of the normal rank and file people, the people bringing down the big bucks are the salespeople. Always end of conversation. There's a reason for that. You are now in your little business, you got to be everybody, or at least, you got to manage everybody, right? Your job as a salesperson, you are a salesperson. Some of y'all got into this internet thing because you really like technology, and I did too, frankly. You really like technology, you fell in love with the internet and all that stuff, or I got a good friend who does a lot of video marketing, and she just really loves video marketing and all that stuff. Can't sell worth a shit, but she really loves video marketing, and that's fine. That's fine. But those people, those technically competent people are always going to be the low paid people, because the people that make the most money are the salespeople. So Rick, if you want to make more money, you're going to have to adjust your job description to be the salesperson, not the fulfillment person. Rick, by the way, already understood this about 5 minutes ago. I'm just fleshing this out for everybody else. Now, so right here, easy prospecting that leads to a no-brainer one-off sale. We're going to understand what I mean by no-brainer one-off in just a second. That leads to a recurring income sale. Albertus just had what I call an aha moment. Me and everybody else calls this an aha moment. Okay, that has been my problem. Amen to that. Albertus, it's not just you, buddy. It's going to be a lot of people on this call. You just had the guts to admit it. So here's what you need to do right off the bat. Right off the bat, when you get off this call, this is where your brain needs to go. This is your next order of business. You must create your recurring income product. You must create that. We can't shoot a target that's not there. And we don't want to be creating a custom recurring income product. We want the same damn recurring income product for everybody. Because turning this into a custom solution business is another way to massively limit your income. Okay? Doesn't matter what niche you're in. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples in a minute. There's always something or some things that you can do for business owners on a monthly basis. I mean, my God, they're already spending thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands, every month on some sort of marketing and advertising. People are used to having to advertise every month. They're used to that. So this is not news to the business world. This may be news to you, but it's not news to the business world, right? You need to, for whatever you're selling, you need to create a, Thelma says, I need a recurring product. Amen. Thelma just had an aha moment. That's what you need to do. You just need to stop the train, get out of the damn car, stop everything, put it down, put the phone down, and you need to get out a piece of paper and you need to say, Lee said to create a recurring income product. What is that going to look like? Raymond, you did miss a ton of important stuff, because this webinar is literally the greatest webinar that I've ever done in my life. I mean, some people on here know me really well. Tell me if this thing doesn't rock, guys. Tell me if this thing doesn't rock. But Raymond, buddy, it's being recorded. So Thelma says it does rock. Thank you, Thelma. It's being recorded, Raymond. So we are currently about an hour into the webinar. Get the recording. I'm going to mail everybody the recording. Give me about a day. Get the recording. Go through the first hour especially. Raymond, you're also getting this PDF. You're also getting this PDF. Just dive into this thing. James says it rocks and rolls. Absolutely. You need to stop the freaking train. And you need to create your, yes, Rick, that would be right. You need to create your recurring income product. Because that is what you're going to be selling. Whoa, how you doing, buddy? Kim, I will give you the PDF is right here. We're looking at it, but I'll give you a copy of the PDF at the end of the webinar, okay? I'm just on a roll. I don't want to stop talking and do that because we got too much cool stuff happening. Now, here's some examples, guys. Hey, well, Merry Christmas to you, buddy. I'm glad you're on the webinar again. It's great to see you. Hope you're well. And hope you got to spend a little time at home around Christmas and New Year's. I know it's a big traveling season, guys. Wall flies planes for a living. Matter of fact, if you're flying anywhere around the Pacific, you might have been on a big jet with Wall flying it. So your life was in his hands, and he's a good man. I've known him for a long time. Recurring income products, and Wall's currently in London. Yeah, the guy travels all over the world. Video marketing. I mean, think about it. Video marketing. What? I mean, just right off, you know, I just, and granted, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, but like it took me 4 nanoseconds to write this down. And I don't know what you sell, and it doesn't matter. The blueprint is still the same. So that's another thing y'all think is selling, you know, rep management is different, is wildly different from selling video marketing. Yep. That would be true. That would be true. You know, but it's not. The whole process for selling this stuff is exactly the same for all these niches, exactly the same. Why is that? Because those business owners are human beings and they think the same and they have the same needs, all right? But real quickly, video marketing. So what are some recurring income products? Albertus has had another aha moment. Yep, absolutely, Albertus. And toward the end of the webinar, I'll tell you how I can help you actually figure out the details of what you just asked. Monthly video SEO. Okay, monthly video SEO. I mean, you know, backlinks to videos, kind of important, not all that important, but they do help some. One huge thing with YouTube, is uploading videos on a daily basis. Austin says monthly Facebook ads with video. Amen, Austin just figured it out. That might be the solution for Austin, or one of the possible solutions. Monthly videos uploaded to the channel. Monthly video ad management. If you're into, you know, we're really getting into YouTube ads right now because I love video. And they're the right price, okay? But monthly video ad management, that's a monthly deal. I mean, look at, why would a business pay you to create a bunch of business for them this month and not pay you to create a bunch of business for them next month? I mean, that's insane. They run newspaper ads all the time. Why wouldn't they pay you on a monthly basis? So get that one-off mentality out of your head. The one-off, okay, is defined as the thing that you get paid for once. The recurring income things, the things you get paid for over and over again. Guys, in case you hadn't figured this out yet, and we're going to say this in a minute, the one-off is a stepping stone to the recurring income product. It's a stepping stone, okay? Social media marketing. Monthly content on various sites. My daughter, who's about halfway through college, was, you know, asking me. She said, "Dad, I really want to start making some money. How?" And she loves social media. Okay, how can I do this? And I'm saying, you know, man, you need to start building a social media business where you are doing nothing but posting content for people to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Why is that? I mean, Why would one want to do that? Because there's software that will do it for you, guys. It's easy. You know, once you get it down, once you're thinking about, okay, for client A, I got this, and client B, I got that, and client C, I got that, and I'm doing the same thing for all of them. Some of the details may be different. Granted, some of the details may be different, but not much. Email marketing management, monthly emails that go out to customers. Google My Business. So you help somebody claim their listing and pimp it out, and that's great. That's a wonderful front end product. How about building citations? How about adding social media to that? Or do what Austin said. How about monthly Facebook ads? I mean, it all, you know, so you need to start thinking about all the things that you bought in 2018. You need to pour them into the mold that I'm giving you. And you need to think, well, of all the things that I know how to do and that I'm learning how to do, how could I create not elaborate, don't think elaborate, think simple. How can I create a simple monthly recurring income product that's really going to help a business advertise themselves? All of y'all on your hard drives, you have everything that you need. Everything that you need. Hang on, Jason. That's a good point. You have everything that you need to do this. Jason says monthly email marketing have to be a custom product. True, but that's why I said some of the details may be different. But the way you do it, Jason, what platform you use, how often you mail out the email, the selection of things that you're going to say, you don't need to screw around with that. You've got to learn to treat clients like people treat horses. You've got to grab the reins and just walk the damn horse out of the barn and out into the field. Okay? So Jason, yeah. So you get your client, you said, okay, James says create templates. Amen. That's a much simpler way of saying what I was fixing to say. But so create templates, get with your client at the beginning of the year and say, okay, January, we're going to do this, February, we're going to do that. March, you know, clients are really waiting for you to solve their problems. So don't let the horse ride the rider. You ride the horse, okay? And so with that said, once you get that, you can easily go hire people, you know, off Upwork or somewhere, get paid in advance, but you can go hire people who will crank out those emails. And then you have an outsourcer somewhere who just pops them in the various email accounts and it's a done deal. The thing is, Jason, you know exactly what you're doing each time, and you're not having to sit there and thinking, okay, with this client, I wonder how often we should mail. Once every 2 weeks, once a week, or should we go for once? So you really don't want to be thinking like that. That's kiss of death stuff. So yeah, you got a great point, but you know, think about it. Get it as cookie cutter as you can, guys. So all this stuff has a monthly component. Everything you can think about has a monthly component, even if you build websites, guys, which is a great business, even if you build websites. So yeah, you're going to get a nice fat sale when you sell one, but it's still a one-off. And once you spend that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, guess what? That money's gone, right? So, but that website needs monthly content, blogging, social media posting, right? There we get into the monthly press releases. Okay, Rick has caught on. Use the same material in various cities in the same niche. Yes, absolutely. So when you build an offline business, like I said, your first task is to create this monthly product. And I mean really create. You've got to absolutely think through all the details. Who is going to do it? It ain't going to be you. But go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, figure out what you need. If you're selling monthly videos and they're kind of like, you know, higher end videos, and you need to go find your script writer, you need to find your voiceover artist, you need to find the person doing the editing. You need to figure out if it's going to be a spokesperson video, somebody standing in front of a, you know, thing, green screen or whatever. You need to figure out what the background's going to look. You just figure all that out from the get-go. You don't figure it out after you make sale. You figure it out from the get-go, okay? You need to figure out how much it's going to cost you. Who was it? I think it was Austin asked me about profit margins. And the profit margins do differ. Okay, profit margin social media, much higher than profit margin on a lot of video marketing, unless you're doing ads and stuff like that. But you're going to have to figure out how much it's going to cost you, all right? You're going to have to figure out what you're going to sell it for, right? And what are the details of what you do and how you do it. In other words, you're going to need to be able to articulate this to your client or your prospective client, and that's what we call features and benefits in the marketing world. So that means you're going to need a sales presentation. I use PowerPoint and Zoom. That works fine. You don't need a elaborate sales presentation. It's just you, who you are, your background, if you have one. Some of you are so new you don't have a background. That's fine. Just skip that. Who cares? Just talk about the generic stuff. Okay, like if you're selling LinkedIn marketing management, then talk about how cool LinkedIn is. Don't talk long. Here's the product. Here's what it's going to do. These are the benefits, for your business. This is what we do, how often we do it, what it looks like. Here's an example. Here's how much it costs. Are you ready to get going on this today? That's how simple your sales presentation needs to be. You need an email sequence to sell this, because remember when we were talking about follow-up, you're not doing any follow-up either. So if somebody doesn't buy, they get put on a list, and you just let emails drip on them once a month until, or once every whatever, until they buy or, unsubscribe, right? And you're going to need some content, for yourself. That last one is not nearly as important as the previous ones. I would say that's a little optional. Now, when you get this all figured out, you will have your recurring income product in place. Now, the next thing you need to do, and you need to really listen to this one really carefully. The next thing you need to do is you need to create a no-brainer. I just can't help myself from buying it. It's almost down on the level of an impulse buy. No, you're going to sell it for more than a couple of bucks. But it's like that, like too good to pass up type front-end product. So I have many people in the United States on this call. I have a ton of people worldwide. For those of you worldwide, this may not make total sense, but probably will. The front-end product is not the end goal. The front-end product is like in baseball. It is getting to second base. So in baseball, you got to start at home, go to first base, go to second base, go to third base, come back home. You're running around in what we call a diamond. It's a square. And only when you come back to where you started, do you score a run. But in order to score that run, at some point, you got to step on second base. The front end product is second base. It is not the end goal. So much of the stuff that you buy, and there's nothing wrong with this. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this at all, but it's very focused on selling that front end product. And that's okay. I mean, you got to sell the front end product before you sell the recurring income product usually. But you need to think that front end product must not only be related to the monthly recurring product, but it must be a no-brainer leap from somebody thinking, yeah, I want that product least selling today, that one-off. They don't call it a one-off, that whatever it is. The leap from there to thinking, well, wait a minute, if I buy this, that's cool, but if I get that, I get all of this stuff monthly, and that product, that monthly product, is going to scratch the same itch, address the same needs as the front end product. Just one's kind of like a recurring version of the other is an easy way to think about it. Okay. Don't overthink this. Just find something that you can sell as a one-off product. Here's some examples taken from some of these examples up above. Video marketing, one whiteboard video at or near cost. Now, I'm not saying that you should lose money on this at all, but I am saying that you should not look at these front-end products as your big profit. Okay? Your big profit comes from your recurring income products. Because what I'm suggesting to you is you restructure your entire way of thinking so that you understand that your goal. We did the math. We had 18 clients giving us, what was it, $1,000 a month, and we ended up with a $212,000 business. 18 is not a big number, guys. It's a very doable number. That's your goal. The rest of the stuff is just how you get there, right? And by the way, once you're there, then you can think, well, if not 18, what would 50 look like? What would I have to have in place for 50? And that's you can scale your business like that, right? So video marketing, one whiteboard video at or near cost. Why is it at or near cost? Because I want it to look so good, and I want the price to be so excellent from the buyer's point of view that they just can't pass it up. Because here's the deal. The people that you sell the recurring income products to are the people that bought the front end product. This is nothing more than an elaborate way of creating a small pool of people who've already paid you money for really cool stuff, and you're going to hit those people up for a monthly recurring product. And it does not take a huge list to do that. A list of 30, 40, or 50 people you would be living in style for the rest of your life. Okay? Email marketing. One professionally written email, one press release at or near cost or slightly above cost. Google My Business, claiming and pimping out a listing. I mean, there's still a bunch of listings that aren't claimed. Not like there used to be 3 or 4 years ago, but there's still a bunch. And there's still a bunch where, you just don't have. I mean, just don't have all the information. It just looks stupid. That, okay? Or look at it a different way. Some small baby version of directory marketing. I didn't even mention directory marketing with this, which would be a great next step with Google My Business, okay? So you want that front end product so that let's use, I love Google My Business. Let's use Google My Business. So you get a client, you fill out the rest of their listing, you claim it. Now that's honestly a little bit of a pain in the butt because Google has to verify all that stuff. And don't worry about that. Don't worry about the details, guys. The details you've already got on all these info products that you buy. That's not why I'm here. I'm trying to tell you what to do with them so that you can have a freaking business, okay? So Google My Business, maybe you claim it, maybe you don't, but you're sort of, making it look good, got some, graphics and stuff like that, straightened out the times and all this stuff. Hey, I got 2 dogs. I know exactly where you're coming from. So, that's a great front end product. I mean, the next thing is citation building. The next thing is, directory marketing, which is kind of like it's a subset of citation building. So that's the way, it is a complete. The person you're selling to does not have to think. They don't have to learn anything new. They don't even have to emotionally, and this is really important, get into a different place. You already helped them with the Google My Business listing. They probably never even knew that they needed this next level of service. They probably never knew that. Guys, the only people walking around stressing out about being in the freaking 3 box is you and me. The rest of the business world has no clue about that. They have no clue. So you sell them some easy Google thing, and then and I'm going to talk to you about how to do this in just a minute, okay? Because there's a very specific way that works really well, and it's designed very psychologically to work well by me, and it works just amazingly well. So you claim the Google listing, you pimp it out for them, and then you meet with them and say, yeah, hey, did you like what we did with your Google listing? Oh yeah, Lee, man, it looks so much better. Thank you so much. I was really frustrated by that. Cool. Well, listen, let me ask you a quick question. Would you like for your Google listing to actually get you more business, or are you just happy with it just looking good and nobody ever seeing it? I mean, a little bit of a smart ass way of saying that, right? Everybody's gonna, Everybody's going to say, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, Lee, what are you talking about? Well, let me explain to you about this. And then you get into Google My Business SEO, right? For those of you who are hip to that. Do you see how that's so easy? You've already got somebody that bought something from you. They really like it. They believe it. The price was great. The service was fabulous. And now you're telling them something else and it's going to use that thing. I'm not trying to switch you over to something else here. I'm not trying to say, well, you bought the Google My Business thing. How about let's upload a video every now and then? Why would you do that? Because now they got to think, well, video, what the hell do I want a video for? Now they got to think. You don't want people thinking, right? So John says, love it. I got to remember that upsell. John, the upsell is where it's at. All we're doing is creating an excuse for the upsell, because the upsell is going to be that recurring income products. Awesome, John. So yeah, Google My Business is one of John's things. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the deal. You want a front end product that is, now look at this list, because I thought long and hard about this. Really. I thought long and hard. I didn't have to think long and hard about the list. I thought long and hard about how to explain the list to you. A logical next step from the front end product to the recurring income product. It is a logical next step from claiming and fixing up a Google listing to, hey, how about we get that bad boy in the 3 box? Or how about we just, you would never really say it like that because nobody knows what the hell 3 box is except you and me. How about we get that bad boy to where a whole bunch of people see it and call your business and walk in your door? How about we do that? Now that it looks good, how about we use the damn thing to get you some money, to get you some more business? How about that? Okay, it's a logical next step. Video marketing, I just used the whiteboard video. You like that whiteboard video? Totally cool, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you know, how about we get a ton of people to see that video? And it's not going to cost you very much, you know, to do that. I'm going to manage the whole thing. It's going to cost you a little bit for me to manage it, but it's not going to cost you very much for me to, you know, ad spend. YouTube ads, getting traffic to that video, monthly recurring. And by the way, if we want to really build out your channel, how about we just start uploading 1 video a week? Okay. Cool. How much is that going to cost? Bam. You're into, you know, low thousands there. And a lot of businesses will pay you this. They need to pay you this. See it? See how that works, guys? You got to sell that front end product at a price they just can't pass up. Here's the major like shift for you. Because you've always, I'm guessing, because I used to think that, I mean, you know, back when I started, I used to think, well, the front end product is where it's at. And then every now and then, if I can make an upsell, that's just more gravy. Until I shifted and thought, man, this is why my business isn't growing. But if I focus on recurring income products as the upsell, and if I make that the target, and if I design everything so that it gets me to that target, then I will actually start to make some serious money. That happened, and that will happen for you. So, you know, get out of that thing of, oh man, you know, I'm really not making much money on this front end product. That's like a baseball player saying, oh Jesus, I'm just standing on second base. I'm a complete failure. No, you're standing on second base. You got to go third and home and you score a run. Okay. Golf. I mean, you're not putting in golf until you get the driver. For those of you who do not play golf, that's the big fat club that hits the ball a really long way. You're not putting on the green, knocking the little ball into the hole until you get the driver and smack the daylights out of him and get it way on down the fairway. Okay? Some things have to come first. The front end product has to come first. It's a setup for the recurring income product. And you can make a little money off of it, and that's just fine, but you're going to be smart if you sort of get it as low as you can, as low as you're comfortable with, because really what you're doing is you're creating a bunch of people who bought a front end product for you because you're going to hit them up for a recurring income product because you only need 18 of those to have a $200,000 a year business. And that everything must deliver awesome value. I mean, it's just got to really look good, right? There's a reason I mean, I probably touched on this, but let's just make this really clear. The two reasons why this front end product needs to have these attributes. Number one, you're proving yourself, your worth, your value, your trustworthiness, and you're setting yourself up for that sales presentation for the recurring income product, so that when you hit that sales presentation, they're going to already know you. They're going to already have a positive feeling for the value that you brought them because you proved it. They paid you some money, a few $100, and they got this really great thing. And it's really cool. It's better than what you told me, right? Okay, so when you're speaking to them about the recurring income product, you're coming from a totally different direction. Now, this is really important. This is really important that you understand this. Done right, in other words, done my way. You're going to sell, or using what John said, upsell, 25 to 33%, a fourth to a third of those front-end buyers on a recurring income product. So let's do some math. If you want 12 businesses paying you $1,000 a month, that would be 12 times 12, which is 144. So that's $144,000 a year. And you're closing 33% of your front-end clients. Okay, so you just need one new recurring client per month, and you're closing 33% of your front-end clients. That means that you just need to make, on average, just three front-end sales per month, just three. Do you see how this starts to look very doable when you look at it like this? The reason this has to work this way is because it's baked into the numbers. Okay, the bottom line is you have to do so much prospecting to get a sale that if you stop at that first sale, you're not going to make enough money per unit time prospecting to build a real business. Does that make sense, guys? So my point is, if you make one sale a week, that's really like normal when you're killing it. And you don't even have to make one sale a week. You can just do 2 a month and still get to where you want to go slightly more slowly. You'd more than meet your quota if you made one sale a week. Okay. So your next step after you create your recurring income product is to create that no-brainer front-end product and an easy, no-brainer, low-stress sales presentation with which to sell it. And we're talking about easy, low stress, because we don't want to go flogging a dead horse. We just want to do what I did with the guy I told you about, to show them what we got. They're going to like it or they're not going to like it. And we don't want to waste their time if they don't like it. If they don't buy, we have automated follow-up. You put them on a list, it just drips. Maybe someday they'll buy. We're just after 1 or 2 or 3 sales a month. That's all we're after, because we can build a hell of a business in a very reasonable amount of time with that, because we're focusing on recurring income products. Oh, yeah, and I think we covered this next part. You got to go ahead and figure out how you're going to fulfill this stuff. I mean, you got to go ahead and figure this whole thing out. What the recurring income product is, all the details, not just the big picture. I'm going to sell video marketing service that's going to help businesses. That's like super big, 30,000 foot view picture. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the freaking details. Everything, I already covered that. You got to do the same thing. You got to do that for your front end product. You got to do that for your recurring income product. Because you don't want to have to think about this stuff ever again. You just want to go out and sell it. And so what do you need? Well, some things need some information from buyers. So Thelma mentioned resumes, which is a great thing to sell. It's a great front-end product. So some things need information. How are you going to get that information? If you're selling a video marketing service and your client, and you're really focusing on videos actually made on the premises, which you don't have to be. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do that, but it's a good thing, I had a client like that. I don't particularly like that. because it's just too many things that that my business can't control. But let's say you're doing that. Okay, so you got to figure out when's the video going to get to you, all that stuff. You got to figure out all that stuff because you don't want to have to think about it ever again. Okay, you got to know who's going to do what and when and how they're going to do it. And like I said, it sure as hell better not be you. And then your next task after you get all this stuff figured out, you've got to learn to find those front-end buyers. In order to find those front-end buyers, you've got to learn how to prospect for those front-end buyers. And there are tons of ways to do that. And you've got information products out the yin yang with a ton of great ways of doing that. Okay. LinkedIn's one of my absolute favorites. I love LinkedIn. Direct mail, I love direct mail. Hint, hint, I'm coming out with some amazing direct mail software for you guys in February, but we'll learn more about that later. Cold email is a possibility. If you're really going to do cold email right, there's a lot of technical stuff to know about that to make it work. It seems like a lot of work to me for most of you guys. Postcards, gulp, gulp, cold calling. But I bet if you had all this stuff in place and if you actually knew, my God, all I need is 18. I need 18 clients. I need 18 clients. Lee just proved to me mathematically that if I had 18 clients, I would have a $200,000 a year business. Actually, you'd have more because really you're going to be making a little more than $1,000 per month per client on average. Okay? But if you had 18 clients, well, if that was really all you needed, you might suddenly have the intestinal fortitude to pick up the damn phone and call people. You might do that. Just guessing. Somebody tell me if that rings a bell with you. I mean, did that you're kind of like thinking, really? Wow. Yeah, I might do that. Rick says yes. Walk-ins. Thelma, you're awesome. You're just awesome. Thelma says yes. HM says rank and rent videos. Absolutely. Well, whatever it is. Lena, who is a partner of Jorgen's in business, says Jorgen is really good with this stuff. That does not surprise me at all, frankly, Lena. That does not surprise me at all. Even though I don't think I've ever really heard Jorgen speak. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I think maybe one time we did a little hot seat thing with Jorgen on it, but that does not surprise me. Walk-ins. Walk-ins. Yeah, 17 clients. Actually, Wall says 17 clients actually for $204,000 per year, Wall. And the beautiful thing about it is you're doing essentially the same thing for each client, which means, Wall, that you really, once you get those 17 clients, it's really just management. It's just management. It's just managing the workflow. You're not killing yourself getting those 17 clients. And when one client drops out, let's say you're cool with the 200,000 a year. It's fine. I don't really need any more money than that, But you're cool with that. That's fine. That's all I need. That's all I want. I would rather have time than more money. So, you get to that point, some clients are going to drop off. They die, they change, they're human beings. They come up with some, they're susceptible to coming up with other great ideas and stuff like that. And so now you're down to 15 and you need 2 more. Plug in a few replacements, and you already know how to do it. You just crank up the old prospecting machine. For 2 more, you would need 6 front-end clients on average. Let's say 6 to 8 front-end clients. You get those 6 to 8 sales. You make those 6 to 8 sales. You do what I'm fixing to tell you in just a minute. You go back to them. You upsell them to recurring income. Bam, you're back up to 17. You're back up to $200,000. Okay. Walk-ins, guys. Most of y'all live in areas where there are businesses. I have talked to people who live like out in the middle of ranching country in Montana, part of the United States where your nearest neighbor is 50 miles away. Okay, so walking in really is probably not going to work for you. But maybe you might want to go to town and just hit all the businesses there at one time. And it may not be a daily thing, but it can certainly be a once a quarter thing. But there's nothing wrong at all with just taking a strip mall, walking in the businesses. If it's a restaurant, make sure it's not during peak hours. Just saying, hi, is the business owner here? Yeah, hi, I'm Lee Cole. I sell stuff like this. Here's a little information. I mean, my God, you guys buy PLR out the yin yang. You've already got the stuff to give them, right? Okay, so hand them a little something. You know, this is what I do. Just wanted to let you know that I do that. By the way, you ever interested in this kind of thing? You know, bam, you've made a contact. Do the damn walkout. Network meetings. Alberto says local business events. Network meetings. I love those things. Okay. It really doesn't matter what you choose. Frankly, I'd probably discourage you from choosing cold email because I have some friends who do that and it is extremely technical. Here's the deal though. Here's what's really different about how I do things. Now this is going to hurt. Yeah, that you could do well. This is going to hurt a little bit. But remember, I think it was Rick that was talking. And Rick was saying, Rick, if it wasn't you, I apologize. What? I don't get to do any follow-up? No, you don't get to do any follow-up because people, I'm into follow-up, hell. You don't get to do any fulfillment because people who do fulfillment are lower paid. You want to be higher paid. Salespeople are higher paid. Now, this next thing is going to hurt. Okay? I'm kind of kidding a little bit, but this is big. This is another massive shift in thinking. You want to structure your working day, or if you're doing this part day. Now, please hear this number. This number is carved in stone. This is the number. Don't doubt me on this. You want to structure your working day so that you spend a whopping 80% of your total working time doing nothing but prospecting. Lee said it, it's true. You are a salesperson. You must prospect. Every now and then, you get to do a sales presentation. Every now and then, you sell one of those, your front-end product. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3 times, you upsell those to your recurring income product. You do that 18 times, you are in Fat City. It's what we call in the South Fat City, good old boys. You have to be old to understand what I'm saying about Fat City. But you are, I mean, y'all understand, you're in Fat City, right? It's all gravy, man. It ain't going to happen unless you sit on your butt or get in your car and sit on your butt and dial the phone, sit on your butt and get on LinkedIn, sit on your butt and, you know, sit on your butt in your car and drive to network meetings. How many network meetings should I go to a weekly? I think it's really the question, guys, is how many network meetings should you go to per day, right? If you want to get really serious about this, I mean, if you worked for someone as a salesperson, think about this very carefully in your heart. If you worked for someone else as a salesperson in the business that you want to start, would you fire you because you don't prospect? I would fire you in a New York second. Tell me I'm wrong. I would love to say, no, Lee, man, you're totally wrong. I spend X number of hours per day prospecting, and I'm going to tell you, dude, you don't need me. You're fine. You're just going to go out and build a massive business. Yeah, Art, hit me up with that question toward the end. We'll have a little Q&A toward the end. This is going to be kind of a longish webinar, guys. I'm getting toward done, but I'm not quite done. Okay. But anyway, now, like I said in the next sentence, most of you spend maybe 5% of your time prospecting, and I think I'm being very generous with that, and your results are what they are. Okay, you can really pretty well, all other things being equal, you can correlate your results to the amount of time you spend prospecting, because it don't start unless you start it. And I said, I think I was being a little harsh with this next sentence. I guess the rest of the time you're trying to find your derriere with both hands, or I don't know what the hell you're doing. You're buying a new product. You're looking for a new silver bullet. You're probably sitting there being confused, right? And frustrated. I got it. I understand. I mean, just in all honesty. But the whole reason for this webinar was to unconfuse you. Here's the deal. For the rest of your life, in your business, you must spend 80% of your working time prospecting for new business. I said 80, not 50, not 70, not 60, 80. Summarize to this point, because we're getting toward the end. You've got to spend 80% of your I love that. Lena, that just does not surprise me at all. I've got to read it out because this is so beautiful. Guys, I've gotten to know Lena and Jurgen pretty well in webinars. They're just wonderful people. Said, you're not wrong, Lee. When Jurgen is here, he is smoking. Focusing on prospecting and client relationships, probably around 80% of his day. And since he's doing that, you are building a business. And if he weren't doing that, the business ain't building. It's just not happening. So let's summarize where we are right now because it's actually very simple. We're getting down to time when it's time for you to go off and do stuff. And I'm going to help you. Okay. Don't worry. I'm going to help you. I'm not going anywhere. You've got to spend 80% of your time prospecting. I would suggest one method only for a long time, maybe forever. If you like network meetings, who was it, Art or somebody else like network meetings? Fine. Just go to a ton of network meetings. There's literally zillions of them. Chamber of Commerce, Meetup, BNI. I mean, they're all over the place. Okay. You've got to sell your prospects a no-brainer, impossible not to buy front-end product, where the business owner looks at that and says, I'd be insane not to buy this. This is cool. You've got to do that. And either at the time of sale, and this is not recommended for newbies. I can do this, but if you're new or if you're just struggling, you don't need to be doing this. Or a week later. Now hear this, because I'm going to tell you when to hit people up for the upsell. When you sell somebody the front end product, it is good business to make sure that it gets delivered on time and to call them back and say, we got it delivered. Here it is. Here's what it looks like. Do you like it? Do you understand what you got? That's good. It's called onboarding is the new name. That's the new name. Businesses have been doing this since time immemorial, but the new name is onboarding. Okay, so you do that. And here's what you do. You call them up a week later. And you say, hi, Mary, this is Lee. Hey, Lee, how you doing? I'm doing super cool. Well, listen, that Google My Business listing, I was just, on the internet. I took a look at it again. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, Lee, thank you so much. I mean, that really helped us out a lot. We've had such compliments on that. Awesome. Well, listen, do you want that thing to turn into a real asset for your business? I mean, if I could tell you how we could take that without a lot of trouble and without a ton of expense, if we could take that and use that to make more people ring your phone or more people walk in your door, would you be interested in that? So I'm hitting them up for an upsell. I've already proven who I am, that I am the boss and that I'm really trustworthy and I do what I say and I deliver really good products at very fair prices. I've already proven that. Now I'm going to hit them up for the upsell. She's going to say, yeah, I don't really know what you're talking about, but frankly, that sounds pretty cool. I mean, I was talking to my partner about we need to do some extra stuff. What are you talking about? Well, look, I just kind of called you out of the blue. I don't, I don't want to just like sandbag you with stuff. Why don't we do this? Why don't we set up an appointment for a couple of days from now? I'm going to need 30 minutes to an hour of your time, and I'm going to walk you through what else we can do with that listing that's going to make it a massive asset for your business and going to get you a ton more business. When's a good time for you? Blah, 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 or blah, 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 right? So they pick a time. And then you get on there and now you're on your sales presentation selling your recurring income product. A fourth to a third of those people are going to buy your recurring income product. You need 18 to make over $200,000 a year. Wall said you need 17 to make about $200,000 a year. This is not hard, guys. The beauty of the recurring income product, my God, I wish I'd known this from the beginning. It would have been so much easier. But, the beauty of this is there's a finiteness to the business building process. I'm not having to kill myself every month reinventing the wheel, starting on the first day, doing all the prospecting, finally maybe selling enough stuff to equal what I did last month, usually not. Because it's feast and famine, right? That's the beauty of the recurring income. So the only thing that matters in this whole process, I want you to really understand this. This entire structure is built to create one thing, those recurring income sales presentations. You sitting on Zoom, which is what I prefer to do, you sitting on Zoom with your little PowerPoint, selling your recurring income product. That's the only thing that this is designed to do, because if you can get to that point, given that it's structured the way I told you, if you can get to that point, you're going to close a fourth to a third of people, and it's not going to really take you that long to get up to your $200,000 a year. Okay? Your whole business, your financial future hinges on your ability. Do you understand this? On your ability to get folks on that recurring income sales presentation. If you get people on that recurring income sales presentation, it is pretty much a done deal. A little time, you're going to start making serious money. After a little while, you're going to be making really great money. There's only one. The only reason you sell the front end product is to A, separate the tire kickers from the looky-loos. This is why you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to sell it. Because a lot of people really are just trying to find out. They're not serious. A lot of them are broke, right? That you just don't know, right? It's in the sales world, this is called qualifying, but this is like it's a hoop that they have to jump over in order to get to the real sales presentation. Because you just want to be talking to the bosses on the real sales presentation, the one for the recurring income product. Okay? It does two things. It gets rid of the deadwood, and it proves to the buyer who you are so that they readily agree to at least hear you out on that recurring income product presentation. If you can do this, you're golden. If you can't do this, one of two things is going to happen. You're never going to sell anything, or you're going to do what I did for a little while. You're just going to be frustrated selling some, kind of like bumping on the ground. It's like a plane trying to, take off. You see these in cartoons and stuff, and it's kind of bumping, and it just never gets airborne. That's going to be you, okay? So let's look at our original list of what this business is composed of. Prospecting funnel, easy prospecting that actually works, easy sales presentation, fulfillment, proper time, resource management, follow-up. This business is so simple. We talked about follow-up, and I got something really cool for you. I got two cool things for you. If you will just hang loose one moment. I want to show you something because I want to help you out. Right here. I got so invested in this that I decided to actually create what I call if you bought products from me in the past, you know that at some point we hit you up for what we call affordable coaching. Okay, this is webinar-based group coaching, and it totally rocks. You've been on this webinar with me for close to 2 hours. You know that I bring the goods, okay? And I've already taught you exactly what you need to do. It's just that some of you are going to need some help with the details. So I decided to create a webinar-based product that's it's got 4 webinars. Let me copy and paste the link into the chat because I'm going to ask you to buy this right now because you'd be crazy if you didn't at the price that I'm offering this for right now. The price is going to go up after that counter hits 0. But anyway, it's called One Client Per Week. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take what I just taught you, we're going to fill in the details for you. Some of y'all buying this are interested in video marketing, offline video marketing. Some of y'all buying this are interested in email marketing. Some of y'all buying this are interested in rep management. It really doesn't matter to me. The whole business always works the same. It's just that you need some stuff in place. You need a specific way to prospect. You need a sales presentation that's actually going to work. You need all the details filled in. One new client every week. You can read the sales letter yourself. Okay, I mean, it's, we're running this from now until the end of the year. What is it, 3 days from now, something like that. Eliyahu says, what if we don't have outsources and such? This is why I created this webinar-based training, because I'm going to talk to you about the details about how to do all that stuff. How do you find an outsourcer? Where, what do you need? So Eliyahu, I don't know exactly what you sell, but let's say you sell, I don't know, video marketing. It really is an amazing price for coaching, and really, I just love my affordable coaching. I really do. Okay. Yeah, Eliyahu, you got 2 questions. I'm answering both of them. Guys, I don't really need your money. Okay. It is Wall says, are you feeling okay off all the Xmas booze? Wall, just so you know, this is going to sound insane. I quit drinking like several years ago. Now, let me add to that, I never drank much. But it is an insane investment. Wall's been on many coaching things with me. This is an insane investment. It's just that I don't really need your money. I really look. I'm very self-serving. Okay, I'm in business to make money, but the way I make money is by helping you. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. I mean, this price, hey, Alberto says 47 bucks. You really don't need our money. This is amazing. Yes, but this price is not going to be here except just for a few days. After that, it goes up. And I'll still, guys, I will still sell this. You'll see this thing and the replays. You're not even going to get the benefit. You know, Wall says this is not the normal greatly value. It's insane. Yes, it's insane. I wanted to do something big at the end of the year, frankly, Wall. I mean, that's part of it. I just wanted to end of the year with a big splash, get people totally straightened out for 2019. Let's put the pedal to the metal and let's you be in an entirely different place this time next year. See, that would be cool. And, you know, frankly, from my point of view, you will buy everything that I ever tell you to buy from now until the cows come home. So Lee will actually make plenty of money from this. Don't worry about Lee. Lee knows all about how to make money. Okay. You can read all this. It's a lot of stuff that I went through on the presentation. I'm not going to read it to you again. I want to show you something though, and you see that same breakdown that we went through on the presentation. I need to read this to you. I want to show you something. Basically, okay, let's read this paragraph together right here. Let me invite you to a webinar series I'm launching in January. This is a 4-webinar series. Times and dates are below. 2 webinars. Look, we want to hit the ground running in January, guys. 2 webinars one week, 2 webinars the next week. Bam, bam. You got what you need. Put the blinders on. Build the damn business, okay? You're going to know exactly what to do to build your business, the details. Now, this isn't yet another shiny object for you to waste your money on. This is proven sound business building skills. That's actually not the one I wanted to read you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. My bad. This is key. This is key. The instruction isn't limited to webinars, though. There's going to be homework every week. Okay, so you're going to get on this. We're going to send you an email. I'm going to need to know some stuff about you. You're going to fill out that information, and then we're going to take you from where you are, and we're going to help you build out this business for yourself, all for the insane value of 47 bucks. Eliyahu, yeah, just hit me up in support. Absolutely. Okay. So there's going to be homework every week. What you need to, if you really want to build your business, you really want to get it in place, you need to take advantage of that homework. Okay. And you need to get back to me because I'm actually going to sit here and read it. All right. And in addition to me just talking on a webinar, I mean, I'm a pretty entertaining guy and I bring the information. I know that. Okay. But in addition to that, we're going to have hot seats. Okay, so when you get on these, I would encourage you, you don't have to, it's all going to be recorded. It will be in a members area. It will be there for you to review if you miss one or if you miss them all. But I would encourage you to get there in person if you can, because we're going to have hot seats. And I want to talk to some of you on the webinar because I want to hear what you have to say. I want to understand where your stumbling blocks are, okay? Because guys, let's roll back up here. Let's roll back up. Let's see if I can find this real fast. Let me show you something. Where was it? 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 That right there. So simple. Okay, Eliyahu, absolutely, buddy. So simple. It's not hard, guys, when you do it right. It is so simple. Okay, I've already straightened you out as to your thinking. Now, with the coaching, what we need to do is we need to add the details in. Okay? Have you ever created a PowerPoint sales presentation before? Probably not. They're not hard to create when you know what to do and when to do it. And you know what to do and when to do the things that you do. I could do this in my sleep, okay? All right, because I've written them for years for me and everybody else, all right? So show up with your mic, make sure it's hooked up because we're going to do hot seats. That's what this is all about. You got the big picture. You got more than the big picture. I straightened your thinking out with proof and mathematics on how the only way that your business is ever going to reach a good level, where it's scalable, where you've got time, where you're not killing yourself, where it's not feast and famine. The only way you're going to do that is through recurring income products. Yeah, I'm going to help you think through your recurring income product. Okay, so if you, God knows, I don't know what to sell as a recurring income product. Guys, I've been doing this for years. I can already tell you what to sell. I don't care what your niche is. I can tell you what to sell. I've done it all. Okay. The reason, guys, this is not that hard for me, and it's going to take some time, but not a ton of time, is I have a vast amount of experience. Okay. So this is like going to the medical specialist. It really doesn't take them that long to figure out what your problem is and solve the problem. It just took years for them to get there. Does that make sense? So this coaching is available from now until I believe I've got that timed. I'll check, but I believe I got that time for Monday night, which is the 31st, my wife's birthday, by the way, Monday night, the 31st at midnight. It's going to go away and the price is going to go up. No, Richard, there are no upsells after this initial purchase. Okay, there are no upsells. Oh God, yes. Saul has 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. Saul, you are a LinkedIn boss, but you have not gotten a client from that. I love LinkedIn. I've got 6,500 some odd myself. That gives you a massive, at least for me, I think it's over 2,400,000 what we call second tier or indirect connections. Saul, if you learn how to use, I taught Saul about LinkedIn. So Saul, thank you, buddy. If you learn to use those, and if you come up with a schedule, if you actually, I don't want to go back to the PowerPoint, but if you actually will structure what you do and know that you're aiming at that recurring income product, and you don't have to, guys, you don't have to sell 40 front-end products every year. If you want to make big money, you don't have to sell 200 front-end products every year. You just got to sell enough to get up to 17 or 18 recurring income products. That's all you got to do. Then you can relax, just like a rancher. You just manage your cattle. That's all you're doing, just manage your cattle. They're going to make a couple of babies, you're going to sell a few. The herd stays about the same size. You're happy. Albertus has 8,000 on LinkedIn. Albertus, if you have never heard me talk about LinkedIn, you are in for a treat. We're going to talk all about prospecting on LinkedIn. Basically, the format of this, somebody asked about the format of the classes. The format of the classes essentially follow what you need to do in the order you need to do it. Now, that's backwards from the way most people teach this. Most people teach how you're going to prospect, how you're going to sell the first thing, and then maybe someday you're going to get to the upsell. And that's sad because that just puts you on like a hamster wheel of never making enough money. It's not that that stuff that is bad that taught you that. I mean, that's all valid. It's just that they just ended before you got to the last chapter of the book, right? The last chapter of the book is the upsell. So we're going to reverse that process because I told you the first thing you need to do is to create your freaking recurring income product. So right off the get-go, that's fine, James. Just hit me up in support if you need some extra attention, okay, because of what you just told me. That's fine, absolutely. I'm here to help, guys, really. So, where was I? So, yeah, recurring income product first. Well, I'm going to be sending this out to everybody. Nick, give me about middle of the day tomorrow. You should get that in the email, okay? If you don't, hit me up in support. I'll just give you the link. So, we're starting by, remember, we got to begin with the end in mind, what Stephen Covey said. We got to know where the damn target is. And the target is the recurring income product, right? So the first thing we're going to do, day one, step one, you've had this webinar. You've had this webinar. Somebody reminded me just now to give you the PDF. I'm going to give you the PDF. Here we go. Here's this PDF. Review that. Okay. Now, thank you, Rick, for reminding me of that. Now, but we got to start out with the target. We've got to create that recurring income product. We got to get that baby polished up. We got to get the sales presentation for that baby polished up. And then from there, logically falls the front end product. It becomes so clear and so easy. Once you get that recurring income product, you look at it and think, oh, well, it's obvious what the one-off would be. That becomes a no-brainer. And you've already done all that work. You know what it is. You're pretty much using the sales presentation. You know, you just got to polish a couple of little things, take out some stuff, put some other stuff in. And then all you need to do is marry that with a prospecting method that you can do 80% of your working time. And then we flesh this out with you going ahead and figure out who is doing the fulfillment, and it ain't you. It may be some collection of Fiverr gigs. I love Fiverr. Fiverr's gotten so much better once they took off that thing about having to start at $5. I mean, the quality of what you get from Fiverr just skyrocketed now that you can start your gig at whatever you want. Literally skyrocketed. You're going to figure out who's going to do what. Fiverr is a great place to start. Later on, you can go to onlinejobs.ph and hire an outsourcer in the Philippines or somewhere who's going to work for you 40 hours a week. They really just work 20, but it's still worth it. God bless them. Who's going to do that? Later on, you can do that. We don't need anything hard. We can build this entire business up to what I'm talking about for all this year just off of Fiverr and Upwork. Okay. There are a few other places where you can find good people to do one-time things for you. So that's the deal, guys. Let me put this link in here again. It's here. It's an insane value. I've had a fabulous year, literally a fabulous year myself. I wanted to make some significant changes to my business. So this has to do with the software that we've created. We have done a lot of what we wanted to do. There's still more to do, but we've done a lot of that, and I'm just feeling good. And I just wanted to end the year on a freaking high note, helping a bunch of people, because I don't have a business without you guys. You understand that? I am broke without you, literally. So I wanted to, Saul, yes, hang on to that question. So I wanted to end this on a high note. That's why I developed this. That's why it's got the low price, because I really just want a bunch of you to freaking kill it next year. Okay, I've done really well this year. I just want a bunch of you to freaking kill it next year. And I guarantee you will buy stuff from me. Wall's bought stuff from me since I started in this business, literally for years. You will buy stuff from me from now until the cows come home. Okay, because I deliver the goods. I know that. So don't worry, I'm making plenty of money. So Saul asked, we're coming out with some new YouTube software, which we were going to come out with December, but we actually had a little bug with it. But also, while we were looking into the bug, this is an aside, guys. I'm just answering Saul's question. So as we were looking into the bug, which is totally fixed, it turned out to be a total no-brainer. I could have launched it in December, frankly. But it's a good thing we put it off, because we decided to add a whole ton more functionality to it. And it totally rocks, Saul. It's called Tube Poster, and it basically, I'll tell you more about it later on. I don't want this webinar to be a pitch for something else. There's going to be information for you guys coming out right after the first about Tube Poster. It's launching, I think, on the 12th. It's just a killer piece of software. It's one of those set and forget things that we're so good at building that helps you build your business without you having to screw around. Yes, Saul says your software is so easy to use and upload. I will pass that on to my developer, who is actually my son, who works with me now, who is a freaking genius when it comes to programming, Luke. This is Luke. And I will pass this on to Luke, because he works, like I said at the beginning, hard is pretty easy. Making it simple is really hard. And Luke spends a lot of time making this simple. Christopher, does your system include software needed? You're not going to, it's really according to what you're selling. So it's not like I have a set amount of software that everybody gets to use. But Christopher, I've been doing this stuff literally since 2006. Okay, so we're going to work together to build your business. And just like I told you on the webinar, recurring income product, front-end product leading to the recurring income product, doable prospecting system that you have the time to do, 80% of your time. And, the thing about it is, Christopher, you really don't have, this is another place where people really kind of go off the rails. You don't have to do stuff that's really, you can do stuff that's totally fancy, but you don't have to do stuff that's fancy, that's cutting edge. Most businesses just need garden variety stuff, and they're very willing to pay for it. And further, and more importantly, it's really going to help them. So my point is that software already exists. So stuff like social media posting, if you're thinking about something like that, I mean, that's out there, that exists. It costs a few bucks a month to get that kind of stuff. So you don't need that from me. You just need for me to tell you when to use it and how to use it. Jim says, this is a freaking presentation. It is a freaking presentation, buddy. It's great to see you. Thank you for letting me know that you were on the webinar. I had so many people on this webinar, I couldn't even look at all the names. Yeah, Art. Yeah, exactly. Christopher, you already got a lot of software. So buddy, hit me up in support. Once we get you figured out, hit me up in support. Tell me what you got. My goal is to help you take all this stuff and figure out how to build a freaking business from it, right? Christopher, you did miss a lot if you just came in later. And look, ignore the dog. My puppies need to go out. We rescue dogs. I mean, it's not like we rescue a lot of dogs, but we recently got a new dog. There's a rescue dog. He was in a high kill shelter. He was scheduled to be euthanized in about a week. He's having a little trouble adjusting. He's just so beautiful and so sweet. I just love him so much. You can never get mad at him, but he barks when he shouldn't. So just, God bless him. I think he needs to go out and use the bathroom. He's a good boy. So let me kind of wrap this up, and then I'll take care of him. Suzette, yeah, I guess that was a slight. No, I actually do work with local businesses, but in this business, let me just put it to you a little different. In this business, I do not have a business without you. And in my local marketing business, I don't have a business without them. You don't have a business without your clients. So your clients need to be just treated like solid gold. Awesome. Saul says I have most of my products. In fact, that's how you built up to 7K from 0 in 2 months. Guys, did you hear that? Saul bought my training on LinkedIn and went from 0 connections to 7,000 in 2 months. That gives Saul a reach of over 2 million people in any country in the world. Well, spread around the globe. It's amazing who Saul can get hold of with that amount of leverage. John's onboarding, besides liking my voice. Thank you, John. Thank you, you're a good teacher. Thank you so much. John is in. Thank you so much. Rick, thank you so much. This is awesome, though not surprising. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, just look. I mean, there is going to have to be a little back and forth. I can't get on the phone with you and talk to you for a ton. Okay, but I don't need to, because if you do it right, your business is going to be brain dead simple. The only problem with your business isn't that you don't know a bunch of crap and that you don't know all this, stuff and all this hard stuff and esoteric stuff. That's not the problem with your business. The problem with your business, you've been doing it backwards. Okay? That's the problem. That's the problem with your business. You've been doing it backwards. Albertus, you're fine, buddy. You had some aha moments. You had some aha moments. Absolutely, Wall. Wall's in. Debbie's in. Debbie bought all my stuff. God bless you. I love, I'm a born teacher, guys. I just make a hell of a lot more money than I used to when I used to work in public school. So any quick questions before I go, because I got to take care of the puppies. Okay. PDF, The Shire. Oh, God. The Shire. I love The Hobbit. That's such a beautiful name. The Shire. I will put this in, and you should see that. I'm actually, let me see if I can just send this to you also. A link, The Shire, whatever your name is. I love that handle. Click that link. It should download the PDF. This is the PDF you're looking at right now. This one, okay? It should download that to your computer. Yep. Rick. Okay, Rick's had yet another aha moment. I actually realized my biggest backwards issue was doing sites versus marketing. Yes, guys, I hate to tell you this. You are in the marketing business. You're salespeople. Austin's going to be attending. Yeah, guys, guarantee. Thank you all so much. Let me explain this to you. This is live training, folks. Okay, and you've been on this webinar with me for 2 hours, and I've got a really high retention rate. I'm sitting here looking at it on this webinar. I brought it, and I bring it every time because I live this stuff. I'm passionate about it. You're going to learn more from me than you've learned from anybody in your entire life. Okay, having said that, you can get your money back at any time up until the moment the first webinar starts. And I think that's very fair because it's live training and I can't take that back. It's not like software where if you refund, we pull your license and yeah, you got the code, it just don't work anymore. It's not like that. I can't take it back. Okay. I put a lot of stuff into this. I mean, I worked a long time just on this little PDF. It may not look like it. The information obviously looks like it. I mean, the production value sucks, but it's obvious what I put into this, right? I can't take that back. And so that's like, I think that's a fair place to be. Up until the beginning of the first webinar, you can get all your money back. I will gleefully, just gladly return your money. Okay, just click a button, bam, it's gone, you're done. You know, you get deleted from the GoToWebinar account, so you don't get on the webinar and all that. After that, you don't get your money back. Okay, after that, you don't get your money back. Yes, Saul, this can fit into that, but we need to take that and build a bigger picture around it. And I think you now understand that. Yeah, Christopher, I never have understood this. Christopher says so many so-called gurus lie and say it's live. I have literally never understood that. I probably should be doing recorded webinars because I think it's great to get more information out there, but I would never tell people that it's live when it is absolutely clear that it's not. Okay, you bet, Thelma, you bet. John says it's done. Wall says the PDF is gold up front. Yeah, Wall, I mean, I spent a passionate, I've been thinking about that. Well, look, I live this stuff, as you know, okay, because you've known me for years, but man, I spent 4 hours this morning just in the zone. just you know, I was going to do a PowerPoint, but I just kept on being in the zone. And I finally got done and it was lunchtime and I thought, holy crap, I don't even have time to do a PowerPoint and that's going to look stupid anyway. Let's just put the pedal to the metal and get the information out to the people so that they can actually go off and make some more money. Okay, got to go take care of the doggy, guys. Any other questions that I need to answer right now? Yeah, I don't think that auto webinar thing where you say it's live, but it's not. Anytime you lie, it bites you in the butt. It bites you in the butt. Christopher, you're a little confused. What are you a little confused about? You bet, Suzette. See you, buddy, Rick. Yes, Christopher. So you bought the product. Okay, guys, when you buy the product, this is what's going to happen. Our automated system is going to send you an email. The sender will be called admin. Okay, that probably needs changing. I just noticed that today. Christopher, open that email and then you will log into the members area and hang on a minute, guys. You will log into the members area, Christopher, using the details in that email. Now, if for some reason you don't get the email, it happens every now and then, especially if you have like your own email account like christopherbader.com and you got one of those like HostGator email client things. Those don't always, it's not that they never work, it's just that, you know, sometimes the email gets lost, okay, and you just never see it. And it's not even in your trash. But if for some reason, well, it should come through to Gmail, but if for some reason, guys, you don't get the email, here's the support ticket link. Hit me up in support. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hit me up in support. Okay? Christopher, I get you totally straightened out, buddy. Okay, just give us about a day. I mean, we check, unless we're in the middle of a launch, we check support once a day. All right. Every 24 hours, support gets checked. All the tickets get handled, and then we check it the next day. Okay. This is not really a launch. It's not like I'm selling 1,000 products in the next 2 or 3 days, right? But then we check support all day long. Okay. But if you have a problem, put in a ticket. We'll hit it first thing in the morning. Okay. Awesome, guys. Gotta go. Thank you, Wall. I really appreciate it. The Wall says Lee's the real deal. He lives and breathes this stuff. Have for years, as you know, Wall. I love this stuff. Awesome, guys. So webinar we'll put it up probably on YouTube or somewhere where you can look at a replay. I will send you that. I'll probably take the replay. I'm just letting you know what's going to happen. Pop it up here on top of the sales letter so that you can have everything that you need in one place. I will probably remove my incredibly beautiful mug and just put the video right there. How about that? And everything that you need in one place to make a decent decision for yourself. We've had something like 20 some odd people buy this already, just bam, just right off the bat. So that's cool. Okay, I'm here to help. You got 3 days plus a few hours to buy this. That's awesome, Christopher. Christopher, we are going to get your business straightened out so that you know exactly what to do in 2019 so that you hit me up really excited later on this year and you say, Lee, I just crossed $200,000 in revenue. I'm a boss. You are a boss, Christopher. Okay. So guys, thank you so much. Put the replay up. Send you an email tomorrow with the replay. Got any questions? You got the support link. Hit me up there. Okay. James is in. Awesome, guys. Love you so much. Thank you. And I will talk to you very, very soon.